All right, here it is. SCP-001 UBU, the 7-day scream. I was heavily requested to watch this one specifically, and I have no idea what we're actually jumping into. But since it's an SCP-001, I know I'm gonna actually get traumatized at some point. I don't think any SCP-001 will trump the Black Moon. But then again, I said that about the Scarlet King too, and then the Black Moon blew me away. All right, so let's see what this is all about. And no one stop spamming UBU in chat. It's not the same as UBU. We're not doing that. Let's see what we got. SCP lore deep dive. 10,000 likes for the next one.
Boom. On May 12, 2588, the town of Kangastak.
What the fuck? 2588? Nani? All right, so this is a future SCP shit.
Greenland was destroyed by a
Kangask. Is that is not a real city, right? Oh my god! What the fuck? A real town in Greenland! It's a real thing! How is this even possible?
a devastating 4-kiloton explosion, accompanied by a massive electromagnetic pulse. The few survivors that made it through the incident alive described seeing a pale green light in the area at the time of the explosion. Shortly after, an OMK-A class scenario, or end-of-death scenario, began, in
I'm just supposed to know what that is?
which all multicellular life on Earth began to experience a regenerative effect regardless of injury or
Oh,
illness.
what the fuck? This is awesome. Wait, is this a positive SCP-001? No way. I thought all SCP-001s were proposals for, like, the end of the world. Okay.
In other words, nobody could die anymore. This resulted in intense worldwide panic in the face of the inexplicable occurrence. As the panic mounted,
Oh my god, we're so panicked, we can't die. Oh lord. Dude, for real though. Everyone suicidal in my chat right now truly understands.
the O5 Council of the SCP Foundation held an emergency meeting in order to address the possibilities at hand. Meanwhile, civilians began reporting sightings of a gigantic, pale, white humanoid monster rampaging through their cities and communities, wreaking havoc and violently attacking anyone and anything.
Okay, how is this all tied together? What is going on? Unlike the other ones, like the Black Moon or the Scarlet King, you know, those were 001s with like vast histories and futures. This just happens instantly. These obviously cannot be separate situations. There has to be something tying them together.
In its path. As the situation progressed and worsened, and the reality of the end-of-death scenario began to set in, the SCP Foundation made the difficult decision to lift its veil of secrecy and reveal itself to the world. O5-1 made a statement to the UN regarding the reality
Is this actually some sort of giga threat on a massive enough level that the actual O5 Council had to address the UN? Oh my god.
of the worldwide anomaly, advising citizens to remain calm and await further instructions. 5 days after the world learned the truth of the SCP Foundation, the pale monster arrived in St. John's, Newfoundland, where it was met by Mobile Task Force New 7 Hammerdown for what they hoped would be a quick fight and neutralization.
I mean, to be fair though, it's just Newfoundland. Like, it's not racism if you're against Newfies. The only place in the world where their time zone is a half hour off is GMT minus 3.5 hours. It's the only place in the world that's a half an hour off time zone. Why is Newfoundland 30 minutes off? Because it's stupid.
Instead, 2 years of devastating, bloody combat ensued.
2 years? Okay, listen, at least it was in Newfoundland, right? Like, if there are any casualties, like, at least they're Newfies.
By July 4th, 2590, 90% of the task force personnel had been killed and regenerated an average of 5 times. At this point, NTF New 7 abandoned the city of St. John, citing anomalously poor working conditions. After being held in
So, this monster somehow comes at the same time as immortality. So they send these immortal soldiers to fight the monster, and over the course of 5 years, they can't win. And they just keep dying again and again and again. Okay, what is this, Fortnite?
2 years, the monster was able to break through the defensive line and continue its
That's
rampage.
crazy.
On October 10th, 2590, the SCP Foundation and the Global Occult Coalition came together in an act of unprecedented cooperation to found Project Beluga, dedicated to the goal of neutralizing the monster.
That is crazy. Why is neutralizing it even such a big deal? Everyone's immortal. Like, who cares?
Designated SCP-UBU and stopping its reign of terror.
Why is it called UBU? Why? Why?
But Project Beluga was unable to neutralize the entity before it reached Columbus, Ohio on
Dude, it went It went from Kangaskhan Town in Greenland to freaking Newfoundland to Ohio. At least he's picking good locations to traumatize.
On December 29th, 2590, once it arrived in the city, SCP-UBU began dedicating its time to a gruesome personal project. First, it dug a 2-kilometer deep hole in the city's center. Next, it gathered a total of 2.9 million civilians, throwing them into the hole. After the hole was full,
what the frick? It makes a massive hole, it dumps 1 million people in there?
The entity leaped into the upper stratosphere, over and over again, stomping into the hole each time.
Why? I can't get that picture out of my head right now. What?
When the people inside were pulverized, the entity destroyed a large fountain, which it used as a cup and drank the resulting juices from the hole.
Dude just made a civilian's smoothie. Oh my freaking god, dude. Oh my lord. Nani? I was not ready for this. Wait, what happens? They're immortal though.
This entire process took roughly 1 year, and when it was finished, the entity appeared to grow bored with Columbus and moved to Lake Erie. Upon reaching Lake Erie, SCP-UBU trudged out into the water and began assaulting the cargo ship docked there.
Like, is this just showing you the consequences of immortality, just extreme boredom?
And lifting ships up and throwing them out of the water, some flying high enough to exit Earth's gravitational pull.
Oh my god, this thing is OP. Nani?
Altogether. 2 of the ships were later spotted on the surface of the moon. This chaos and destruction continued for years and years, until June 10th, 2670, when SCP-UBU was contained at SCP Foundation Site 59. However, this containment only lasted for 2 minutes, at which point the entity—
They contained him for 2 minutes! Wait, how is this guy so OP? What? Can't they just put him in the cage with the reptile, let them fight it out?
He escaped and made its way to New York City, where it was found howling and attempted to defile the Statue of Liberty.
What? Yeah, you— Nani? What did you mean by that?
Several countries used their nuclear arsenals to attack SCP-UBU over the course of its rampage, until the Schenectady Agreement was signed on February 10th, 2674.
Yo! What the hell? It's February 11th right now. That's crazy. Wait, 2674? That means it's been literally 100 years where this has just been rampaging, where everyone's been immortal?
Cementing an agreement between NATO powers, the Russian Federation, the People's Republic of China, and the Global Occult Coalition.
It's like all the bad guys in the same place when Tom has to team up with Jerry to fight the fucking, I don't know what, bad guy at the end. They got China, the Satanists, Russia, and NATO. Sure.
All signatories agreed that due to the concerns around the environment, any additional nuclear strikes against the entity would be prohibited. After the signing was finished, SCP-UBU crashed the ceremony, grabbing several lengths of rebar and 15 foreign dignitaries, which it used to construct itself a bead necklace. The next notable incident—
A bead necklace? What does that even mean? That means it's intelligent, right? It's having fun and it's actually intelligent about what it's doing. That is so much scarier somehow.
Occurred when SCP-UBU showed up at Site 19, interrupting a round of testing with SCP-AFF, a woman capable of turning matter
Oh wait, that wasn't its only property. Okay, continue.
Into stone by speaking to it. SCP-UBU broke through the ceiling, crushing AFF beneath its weight. SCP-682, which was also present—
Hey, there we go, I literally called it—
approached the entity curiously, and SCP-UBU responded by angrily defecating and shouting at SCP-682 in gibberish.
But it just shits on the lizard and leaves? He just comes in here, he shits on a lizard, he walks away.
SCP-682 seemed to understand this vocalization and attacked SCP-UBU, demanding that it take back the insult. At this point, SCP-UBU slapped 682's cheek, causing 682 to let out a horrific scream. The slap left behind a glowing green mark, which spread over the entity of 682's body before breaking the bonds of its cells all at once, dissolving the reptile into a pool of toxic fluid.
He beat the reptile so easily? What? What is this guy?
SCP-UBU then spent 5 minutes bathing in this fluid while giggling. After finishing its bath, devouring the reconstituted SCP-AFF, and screaming into the microphone for 20 minutes, SCP-UBU broke into Armed Containment Area 179.
Oh my lord, this thing is OPAF. Nani?
And swallowed SCP-2317
Okay, I don't know what that one is.
On March 5th, 2686, SCP-UBU conducted an assault on Thaumiel-class SCP-2000, rendering it neutralized. Again, years of hell.
Dude, this is actually insane. What does this UBU have to do with the immortality? That's my question. Is it just out here for fun? Goes after the United Nations when they're plotting against?
As Project Beluga struggled to come up with new methods that had not already been exhausted. Meanwhile, civilians did their best to find ways to
a bear trap, that'll stop him.
Cope with the state of the world. On March 25th, 2750, former film star Nash DeGroot
2750, 200 years, they could not contain this shit.
Published the Zonk Manifesto, a book based around a simple principle. Life on Earth was no longer worth living consciously, and the only way formed was to enter an eternal coma through the combination of chemicals and guided meditation.
That's actually insane, right? Imagine living in a world with this UBU out here destroying indestructible SCPs, killing people whenever it feels like it, and your life is meaningless, you can't die, and there's nothing you can actually contribute to the world because UBU would just destroy it. Its existence is causing your life itself to lose value. Just upload your consciousness to the Matrix, bro.
This kickstarted the social movement, the International Zonk. On June 24th, 2790, Project Beluga forces managed to drive SCP-UBU into the Bay of Bengal, where it remained for 3 years, causing very little trouble aside from underwater seismic events. Meanwhile, the International Zonk continued to grow, and one
so this is causing like political movements, activist movements, social movements, just by the fact that this thing exists.
Of adherents known as Cuddletopia reached its goal of 5 million residents. On June 10th, 2793, SCP-UBU...
You said June 10th, it shows June 27th, but okay.
Flung SCP-3000 out of the ocean, leaving it beached on the soil of India. Several cities were destroyed in this process. The entity then spent a week pointing and laughing at the beached sea monster.
Oh my god, again! It's every single time! This guy, he's just laughing. He's doing it for the fun of it. I'm telling you, that's what makes it so scary.
Before grabbing it by the tip of its tail and beginning to drag it across Asia. SCP-UBU continued carving a path through Asia, the wriggling SCP-3000 in tow, until it reached the Bering Strait. Then it began to cross the strait into Alaska, returning to North American territory once more. But it didn't stop there. Instead advancing toward South America until it and SCP-3000 arrived on the...
It takes the Leviathan out of the fucking ocean and just drags it casually across the planet. He just casually beats up a sea god. This guy's just an average DC entity. Honestly.
Coast of Brazil on August 29th, 2793. There, it dragged its unfortunate charge back into the ocean once more, disappearing from sight. On August 30th, 2793.
Okay, what the hell was that all about? What was that about? It's not the Leviathan, it's the big eel? Yeah, okay, whatever.
SCP-169, or the Leviathan, emerged from the depths of the ocean.
Oh my god, we just did Leviathan! Guys, we did this. I've done the Leviathan research.
There are some reports that SCP-3000 had been tied around its neck, but these have not been confirmed. The Leviathan and SCP-UBU then entered into a lengthy battle, which carried on for several hundred years.
Oh, fuck.
After so much time had passed that witnesses could scarcely remember a time when it wasn't happening, the fight between SCP-UBU...
Wait, are these people all still immortal?
...and SCP-169 came to a halt. Much as it had with SCP-682, SCP-UBU slapped SCP-169 across the face with such
turned it into goop
force that its cell bonds dissolved and it melted.
Wait, such force? Meaning it's not like it's a power he has, it's just that strong that it just punched his cells into goop? Okay, that's fucking nuts. Wait, so this ends up killing the Leviathan in single combat after hundreds of years?
A puddle of fluid, which was lost beneath the ocean waves. SCP-169 was reclassified, neutralized.
That's insane. Oh my god. This thing is just casually walking around, changing the world.
11th, 3020 marked the start of a 10-year period of
3020. This thing has been out there for 500 years. He's just taking out all the big SCPs, one after the other.
Inactivity for SCP-UBU. Ordinarily, one would expect this to come with a sense of relief. However, even in spite of the global immortality, the collateral
so everyone still is immortal. So all the people that were around 500 years ago to witness SCP-UBU are still around. I wonder if that is his goal. It's just to flex on everyone?
Image from SCP-UBU.
I hope they explain, because I am like lost.
Centuries of carnage had rendered the surface of the Earth uninhabitable. with all land now underwater.
What?
The remains of human civilization persist on a single archipelago of floating cities constructed from ships and debris.
Oh my god! What?
While the international Zonk movement has persisted, gaining more and more
Zonk Scoob! Yeah, you don't want to live in a world like this, where countries are just getting submerged, one after the other, while this UBU just casually walks around murdering all of the big sea monsters.
traction and popularity as conscious life became less and less bearable. An enormous floating
I get it, honestly. Plug yourself into the Matrix.
Zonk pile consisting of international Zonk followers using anomalous methods to achieve the perfect Zonk began to form. Eventually, this
Perfect Zonk? What is even happening?
pile earned the nickname New Zonkland. By May 28, 3028,
Okay.
the archipelago was abandoned, and the 140 remaining conscious humans retreated to the SCP Foundation's SCPS Naismith.
There are only 130 freaking people left alive and conscious on the planet? I'd get it though, honestly. I'd fucking zonk.
There they lived in relative safety for several months, until SCP-UBU was spotted in the water off the port bow of the Naismith on January 14, 3030.
Oh, Lord.
It emitted several sounds that witnesses described as mocking, before swimming off towards New Zonkland. In response to this reappearance after 10 years of inactivity, the O5 Council called an emergency meeting. The transcript for this meeting reads as follows.
It's like, it's slowly but surely causing the Earth to be... It's not like, you know, honestly, a super threat that just comes and blows up the planet is somehow much less scary. It's literally less scary than this, which is just slowly but surely making the world less inhabitable, less of a place that you actually want. Slowly but surely, you don't want to live on this world, and they'd rather take the Zonk method and just plug themselves into the Matrix.
We haven't exhausted all of our anomalous options for neutralizing UBU. Where's the corn crake?
We've been over since Lawrence. Throwing the corn cake in this mess is only going to...
It just
Dude, what? You're giving this lady like an old German man accent.
anchored 57 clicks due southeast.
For why the hell did you tell him that?
Well, friends, it seems the Omega K has had us up and about so long that our personalities have run out of fuel we were given from birth. In all likelihood, we'd see better professionalism and teamwork in New Zonkland.
As a matter of fact, that's a good segue into what I was about to propose.
And frankly, I hope you find the nicest, cleanest spots in the mass grave.
Okay.
Where are you going?
That depends. Which way is southeast? At this point, 05-11 left the room, presumably to track down the corn crake, leaving the remains
What
of
is
the
this corn crake? Dude, at this point, you might as well try anything. It's not like humanity has much of a future if you just leave it going the way it is.
O5 Council there, and leaving the remains of Project Beluga with the question of how to handle SCP-UBU. According to its official SCP Foundation file, SCP-UBU is an extremely violent and hostile humanoid entity of unknown origin, which appeared in Greenland on May 12, 2588.
It's so messed up. Are we gonna get an origin for this? There has to be some sort of origin.
It displays anomalous physical strength and speed, as well as reality-bending capabilities and the emission of regenerative lambda waves linked to the ongoing end-of-death scenario. The appearance of SCP-UBU and the start of the end-of-death scenario coincided with several additional phenomena.
Nani?
There was a mass loss of function for all
Nani?
the objects operated by the Three Moons Initiative. The Three Moons Initiative was an extra-dimensional human organization based in SCP-2922-C.
They're really going dark and deep into the lore for this one.
Life known as Korbenek. This organization was founded 14,000 years ago with
Ah!
the purpose of establishing a human colony in the afterlife,
Of course the SCP Foundation has something like that. Sure.
and has long maintained a peace treaty with the SCP Foundation. SCP-2922, a method of communication that allowed a human mind to make calls to any pre-established phone number, ceased all functions. Next, the extra-dimensional space known as the Wanderer's Library, a magical archive of all
They are literally going through every SCP interdimensional shit to try to figure out a way to take this guy down. That's insanity.
the knowledge from all known worlds, and every book that has ever been written, will be written, and several that have not and will not exist, was severed from Earth. When the SCP
How?
Foundation pressed the Serpent's hand for answers, a representative answered that irreconcilable security concerns regarding Earth had come up, and force them to make this decision.
That's actually crazy. Even the interdimensional people don't want to get involved and leave a connection open. That's how much of a threat this UBU is.
A representative of Marshall, Carter, and Dark Limited somehow gained access to the personal contact information of the O5 Council's members and used this information to reach out to them with a business offer. The company is ordinarily on unfriendly terms with the SCP Foundation due to their conflicting interests, namely
Okay, what? This is a cartel?
Marshall, Carter, and Dark's interests in acquiring and selling anomalous items.
That makes sense. It's a black market for anomalies.
Entities, and experiences to the highest bidder. However, in this case, the company's representative approached O5 Council members with a mixture of politeness and desperation, begging the SCP Foundation to purchase large amounts of the company's stock. The forest known as SCP-4000 lost all of its anomalous properties all at once.
4,000? Which one's that?
Investigation revealed only a small parchment note in the area's entryway, which read, "Good luck."
Frick, dude, the SCPs are jumping ship. That's wild. What the hell? What is this thing made of? I have to know!
One of the most perplexing...
Dude, is this just gonna be like some sort of end of the world scenario and it just ends with everything gone and done and you're just left with all the mysteries of how it ended there?
and disconcerting phenomenon that occurred concurrently with SCP-UBU's first appearance was what happened to SCP-3008, the
Wait,
Infinite.
The IKEA?
Though this sort of thing should have been impossible, the Infinite IKEA was anomalously purchased by some unknown entity. The IKEA branding was stricken from the building, and it was converted into an emergency shelter.
Yo! Everyone's living in the Infinite IKEA! Thank you for the gifted sub, Bull Moose. Oh my god!
All of these occurrences combined to serve as a warning. Something big is coming. And indeed, it was. SCP-UBU. It appears to be impervious to most forms of damage, including blunt force trauma, heavy caliber machine gun fire, temperatures up to 1600 degrees Kelvin, artillery fire, and direct energy discharge from other anomalies.
That's
It
crazy.
did express some discomfort when exposed to severe simultaneous direct nuclear strikes, but it was
Well, in that case, it's toast.
not affected beyond that.
Dude, something big is coming. My dick!
Recorded instance of lasting damage to SCP-UBU was on August 14, 2784,
Okay.
in which the entity bit its left thumb, seemingly for no reason other than curiosity.
The only time it felt pain was when it bit itself. Oh my god.
After biting its thumb, the entity screamed for 7 days straight,
That's why it's called the 7-Day Scream.
then entered into a month-long crying fit. 30 years and 14 days later, the thumb had completely healed. SCP-UBU stands at a height of 4.3 meters.
That's big boy. It's a big boy.
While an exact measure of its weight is unknown, attempts at measurement during its brief time in containment showed that its weight is at least 15,399 kilograms. Its exact anatomical composition is unknown, but a superficial examination of the entity indicates that its body shape resembles that of a large androgynous humanoid, covered in hairless white skin similar in texture to that of a dolphin or small whale.
Okay.
The entity has
Small whale.
no eyes, ears, or nostrils, but seems to still possess the ability to see, hear, and smell. Its only visible sensory organ, aside from its skin, is its 0.5 meter wide mouth, humanoid in nature, with a prehensile tongue of unknown length. On its lower body, it has no apparent features, aside from a
It just shows a fart animation.
cloaca that it uses to dispose of waste.
Ooh, a cloaca. Sexy.
SCP-UBU is prone to vocalizations, mainly screaming, laughing, and babbling, but it does not appear to understand speech in any known language, nor does it seem to be attempting to communicate with anyone it encounters. Its primary interest appears to be destruction and causing as much of it as possible.
But what's funny is it's like, it's destruction, but it's like on a weird logical almost level. Like it destroys, but it loves to destroy. Like it destroys, but it also wants to cause trauma. It wants people to suffer. It wants to make an impact.
It will attack anything that it can get its hands on, but seems to show a particular preference for attacking and consuming human beings in large populous areas, such as cities. Its demeanor is both sadistic and childlike, and it has been seen playing with its victims for hours before moving on to a new target.
Brother.
Due to its regenerative effect present in SCP-UBU's vicinity, it is incapable of causing permanent damage to any living thing, and seems to have no greater motivation beyond causing fear and pain.
That's what it is. It's about causing fear. But what is it though?
SCP-UBU
Oh my
is
God.
classified as Tiamat, meaning that it cannot be reasonably contained at this time with the resources that the Foundation has. Therefore, the focus has shifted from containment to neutralization, which is ongoing via Project Beluga. Any and all non-critical resources will be funneled into Project Beluga as neutralization of SCP-UBU is a top priority.
Bro, this is insane. There's literally nothing to do. It's like it's a toddler that's just incredibly overpowered. That's coincidentally the same letters as, you know, Majin Buu. There has to be something more to this. Where'd it come from? Just suddenly in 27, whatever the fuck, it just shows up?
Additional information on neutralization efforts is restricted and may only be accessed by members of Project Beluga. But in the end, it won't be Project Beluga that defeats this monstrous creature. It'll be the staunch efforts of one extremely dedicated researcher.
Don't you dare give us a cliffhanger. Don't you dare give us a cliffhanger.
Now check out the O5 Council Must Die as—
No! No! Oh my god, I cannot believe that just happened. I am so mad. I am so mad. The war against UBU is a whole story. Alright, I guess we gotta look deeper next time. So leave your likes and have your fun doing that, and we'll get there eventually. But for now, I guess stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.